arrived from the factory without issue.
Hello guys, Turbocharged 51 over here! I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, it's time for the American Grand Prix here at the Circuit of the Americas, COTA for short. Guys, heading to the performance chart, Mercedes-Benz have officially upgraded themselves to be the strongest team on the grid. Ferrari are still a very close second with myself in third. Our top three teams are so close together you can separate us by a needle. Then we've got Red Bull Racing in fourth. Then finally Force India have upgraded their car to finally surpass Renault with all of Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon's excellent results. So they are officially fifth. Renault are sixth, Haas seventh, McLaren eighth, Williams ninth, and Alfa Romeo Sauber are still bringing up the rear end of the field. Now guys, here at COTA, it's an extremely fun circuit to drive, but probably one of the hardest circuits on the calendar to drive. So it's not a joke going around here. But guys, we've got a big issue. We have gotten to that part of the season where my car's engine parts have started to wear so badly that I can't drive on them anymore. And here at COTA, we've gonna have to replace 4 parts and take a 40 place grid penalty. That's right guys. So we're not even going to bother with qualifying. You guys are going to see I'm going to go into qualifying and then just going to retire. There's just no point.
It's time for today's qualifying session to begin here in the United States. Welcome to the Circuit of the Americas. This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
Okay, you should be able to get into the next qualifying session easily, so try to get a hot lap in early so we can save the tyres.
So we're here in the pit box, not ready for qualifying because we're going to retire. Guys, quick reminder to follow me on all my social media pages to be up to date on everything going on here on YouTube. And guys, this is going to be a Grand Prix and a half.
Come on, I know you can do better than that. You've left yourself with a lot of work to do in the race. We still need to get a good result out of this.
Emma, don't you worry. We're gonna fight all the way till the checkered flag, and we are still gonna try and come away with points, guys. So let's get ready for the American Grand Prix.
What fantastic enthusiasm we have for Formula One here in the United States of America. And it's an enthusiasm born from generations of memorable Grand Prix racing. Bruce McLaren took his maiden victory at Sebring way back in 1959, and John Watson's 1983 victory at Long Beach, well, that still holds the record for the lowest ever starting position for a race winner. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's talk about O'Connor. No grid penalties, no mitigating circumstances, just a poor qualifying performance and a very disappointing start position for them today.
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Perez, Daniel Ricciardo and Ocon, Magnussen, Alonso, Raikkonen. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Charles Leclerc, Sainz, Ericsson, Max Verstappen and Sirotkin, Hülkenberg, Gasly, Romain Grosjean and Stoffel van Dorn, Stroll and O'Connor. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
It's a steep incline into turn 1 that'll help you scrub speed off. There are multiple lines, so be sure to make use of them.
Guys, don't forget to drop that subscribe. It is highly appreciated. Also, don't forget to ding that bell. Guys, it's time for the Kota Grand Prix. And, guys, I'm going to have to battle the whole way. A single stop strategy is the safest thing to do with underfueling the car. Otherwise, the tires are going to wear too much. So, let's hope we can get an aggressive start and then just maintain our pace from there. This is going to be a race that is really going to test us. But let's go enjoy the American Grand Prix. Last on the grid, it's comeback drive time here at Kota. We are heading to 5 red lights for the American Grand Prix, and it's go for the American Grand Prix. We get a little bit of a bog going down. The Williams on our right hand side gets an extremely good start. We're going to go for a dive up the inside of a few cars, guys. I can't play around. You guys saw there was penalties all through the field. It's not just myself. Me and my teammate go 3 wide with one of the Renaults. I am up, I think, into P15 at this stage, but we cannot get complacent. We have to make as many moves as possible in these first few laps. The Red Bull and the Williams in front of me have a little bit of a jostling moment there into the S section. I run extremely wide to try and outside move on the Williams, and that makes the door open to my teammate. Now he forces me to the outside. I need to defend. Gasly, come on, dude. You know I'm fighting for the championship. Let's go, baby. It's Vettel leading the way, I think, from Lewis Hamilton. And then we enter the hairpin. I make a move finally on the Williams car, and now right on the rear end of Max Verstappen's Red Bull, heading down this magnificent straight here at Kota, one of the longest straights on the F1 calendar. Overtake on my ERS is set, and now we have to fight with Max Verstappen heading into this next corner. I go for a lunge up the inside. My teammate Pierre Gasly is having the same first lap as I am, diving, going for the moves. We need to get good points for Toro Rosso today. I am up a position on Max Verstappen. Now we are right behind Charles Leclerc in the maroon and white Alfa Romeo Sauber, going up the inside. Oh no, sorry, that's not Charles Charles Leclerc, that's Marcus Ericsson. I have a big tank slapper coming out of the corner. Marcus Ericsson makes contact with me, but I'm not going to have anything about that. We are through up into P12, from 20th to P12 in 1 lap. That's not a bad start if I have to say so myself. Sebastian Vettel is still leading the way, guys. Let's jump back to the first lap to make you guys see what happened at the front. Sebastian Vettel, obviously, as you guys see, is leading the way. In second place, it's the Mercedes of, I can't remember if it's Lewis or whether it's Valtteri. In third place, Sergio Perez got a magnificent start. He is in front of one of the Mercedes cars. Guys, remember, the Mercedes are now the strongest car on the grid, so Perez is going to have to work for this. But also, that Force India has been upgraded significantly throughout the season, and that car is a car that can fight now. Heading down the back straight here at Kota, this magnificent back straight. I love this part of the track. And Perez is fighting away with Hamilton, so it's actually Bottas in second place. And now Lewis is trying around the outside to get that car onto the podium, but Sergio is having none of it. Sergio has been driving a magnificent season, and with Perez being so consistent recently, it's going to be hard to beat him. But finally, Hamilton makes the move. We jump back to our leader, Sebastian Vettel, who is starting to pull away from the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. Guys, remember that Ferrari is still not a slow car. Even though it's third, no wait, it's second, we are third. It's still one of the cars to beat. So Mercedes are still going to have to work hard if they want to beat Ferrari here today at Kota. But for now, it is Ferrari, Mercedes, Mercedes, Force India, and then a Red Bull. Jumping back to my POV as we head to the end of the first lap, and now we are trying to chase down Carlos Sainz in the Renault. You guys can see at this stage, even though I'm under fueled, I still leave the car in rich mix for my car being much lighter than the other cars at the start of this Grand Prix. I really needed to use it while I could, because I knew as soon as I went for my pit stop, I was just going to ease this car to the end of the race. I needed to save fuel at a certain stage, but for now, let's keep pushing on until we are in a position, at least in a points paying position. Like you guys heard in the previous Grand Prix, my rival Kimi Raikkonen, I don't have to finish ahead of him. I just have to get consistent points now for the final 4 rounds of this championship. So, we just have to make sure to get this car into P10, and then we are sorted for the day. Even though I would like more points than just 1, but points are points. Guys, heading here onto the second time we head onto the straight with Force India. It is Sergio Perez battling away with his teammate Esteban Ocon, and for once it seems like Esteban can actually match Sergio's race pace at the start of the Grand Prix, because Esteban is going for a big move around the outside. He couldn't do it like Hamilton did, but he's up the inside for the very next corner, and maybe he can do what Lewis did, but Sergio's not giving an edge, and Esteban gives Sergio the squeeze, and officially Esteban Ocon has gotten that Force India into 4th position. Heading on to back, well, we're jumping back onto my POV for this straight, guys. As you guys see, I'm right behind Carlos Sainz. No DRS just yet. It'll be activated the very next lap on lap 3. So we have to do this on pure car speed. You guys can see I'm quite far away from Carlos, but like you usually know me, guys, I go for a major dive up the inside of Carlos Sainz. We make a little bit of wheel contact, but nothing major, and we've got ourselves up into P11. The start of lap 3, and now we are finally behind Charles Leclerc in the front running Sauber, and at the first corner, once again, he's too early onto the brakes, I'm late onto the brakes, and we go for a move up the inside of Charles Leclerc, and we are officially in the points where we need to be. Heading on onto the straight for the very 3rd lap, guys, and now it is Daniel Ricciardo pressuring Sergio Perez. Guys, there's got to be something wrong with Perez's car. He has not had this minimum pace in a long while. So come on, Sergio, don't give up so easily, man. Don't give up! And it's Daniel Ricciardo around the outside. Sergio likes that inside line. He gives Daniel the squeeze, but once again Daniel's going to have the inside for the very next corner, and that Red Bull with its magnificent chassis just squeezes past the Force India, and Sergio Perez has been bumped all the way down to P5 now. And here we jump onto the POV of Kimi Raikkonen, guys. You guys saw he also got a penalty at the start of the Grand Prix. I am coming at Kimi Raikkonen like never seen before. Usually it's Kimi chasing me down. Today the tides have turned, and now I'm pressuring Kimi. We're going through this very tight, twisty section. I go for a move up the inside because Kimi is held up by the horse of Kevin Magnussen, and it's a beautiful move, and we are ahead of our championship rival only in the middle of lap 3. Heading on to lap 4. Now it's Kevin Magnussen pressuring Fernando Alonso in the McLaren ahead of him, while I am also coming from behind. It is McLaren, Haas and Toro Rosso fighting away for points here. I go for up the inside of Magnussen because he has a little bit of contact with Fernando, which slows him down. It's an easy move for myself, and now Magnussen is going to be under pressure from Kimi as well. We have gotten ourselves all the way up into P8, guys. Now we're on the back of Alonso and Perez. Guys, there's got to be something wrong with Perez's car, because he is making a train here. He is holding everybody up, and it's only been, guys, it hasn't even been complete 4 laps and we all are already in P8. We have gone through more than half of the field. This shows you guys how much pace this Toro Rosso has and how much pace we have gotten out of this car. Now heading here onto the home straight to start lap 5. Overtake on the ERS. Magnussen is pressuring me from behind, but I don't care about him. I'm going after Fernando. I didn't go for a dive there, guys. I thought Fernando was going for Perez, so I'm just going to wait for that massive back straight to see if I can mount a move on Fernando. Magnussen is still right behind us, so Perez is really holding us up. The sooner we get past here, the better, because then I can start to extend the gap from Kimi Raikkonen and even Max Verstappen in that Red Bull, which is a bit further down this straight. Because those cars, guys, Kota, this track, I love this track, to be quite honest with you. Okay, no, let me rephrase that. I like this track. I don't love this track. I suck at this track because of the third sector. It's a very tight and twisty sector, and I usually overheat my tires and just have the complete wrong lines through the corners. It's an extremely fun track to drive in the race, but when it gets to qualifying and practice, I absolutely hate this track because the AI are so OP here at Kota, or I am just majorly pathetic. It's probably the second one of those two choices. But still, the racing here is always fun. It's just I never look forward to qualifying, but luckily I skipped qualifying because I had penalties. Guys, you guys saw we quite easily passed Fernando, and now we are going after our Season 1 rival, Sergio Perez, who we drawed with him at the end of Season 1, but now a beautiful move around the outside. Nothing that Perez could do about that. Heading on to the end of lap 8, guys, and this is Sebastian Vettel coming in for his pit stop finally with the battle between the two Mercedes, guys. It's either a 1-stop or a very aggressive 2-stop here at Kota, and Vettel is going for a 2-stop because he goes from ultra softs onto a second set of ultra softs. So this is going to be a very interesting battle. You guys see the very next lap, Esteban Ocon and Daniel Ricciardo coming into the pit lane for their pit stops. So Vettel is going to pass these guys quite quickly. There he goes. You guys just quickly saw him on the right hand side of your screen. And at this stage, guys, I think Vettel was going for an aggressive 2-stop against the Mercedes, because I know the Mercedes were going for the default 1-stop. Here you guys see Valtteri Bottas comes in at the end of lap 10 to go from his ultra softs onto soft tires to head to the end of the Grand Prix. I think Vettel was going to go from ultra soft onto super soft to try and catch these two Mercedes, because I think on the 1-stop strategy, with the Mercedes being the better car, they were going to have too much pace for Ferrari to contend with. You guys can see Kimi Raikkonen is battling away with Kevin Magnussen at this stage, but it's as if Kimi's car just didn't have any pace this entire race, guys. I'm honest with you guys, he was literally at certain parts of the lap, it felt as if he was limping around. I mean, look how quickly I caught him. Usually Kimi and this Ferrari would have jumped 3-4 cars by now and just completely shown me how it was done. But still, it's Kimi's race, not mine. You guys see him and Max Verstappen are going for the 1-stop. As you guys know, I think I'm going to go for the 2-stop maybe. But at this stage, I was still playing around and just playing around with it, seeing how the tire wear was. Usually the tire wear here at Kota is super bad. But this race, actually, it was not that bad. So I considered a 2-stop, to be quite honest. But also at the same time, I knew the 1-stop was most probably going to be faster. And guys, finally, Sergio Perez woke up and he was starting to pressurize me for, I think this was now P4, but it's actually net P7. So guys, if I finish P7 in this Grand Prix, I would love it. You guys can see right behind us, it is Daniel Ricciardo. And, oh no, this is not Perez, guys. This is actually Esteban Ocon on his fresh, soft tires. So, sorry Perez, it's not you, my friend. It's actually Esteban Ocon who is pressuring me, guys. I let him through. There was no point in me holding up these guys. I was going to lose myself time. I was going to lose them time. There was just no point in racing these guys at this stage. And also, coming from behind was my teammate. Oh, there goes the bollard. I think that was me that took out the bollard. Trust me to take out the bollard. At this stage, my teammate was also catching up to me, so I was really going to have to start getting my foot to the floor. So then I decided, Esteban, no, my boy. It's my time to shine. And Esteban has a massive lockup heading into the corner at the end of the straight, and it gives Max Verstappen a free position. Guys, the end of lap 13, it's finally my time to come into the pit lane. Ooh, I nearly clobber the wall there on the outside. Kota has a really weird pit entry. It's a much tighter corner than you think, and then the next moment there's just a massive concrete wall next to you that you almost kiss. Well, not kiss, you freaking French kiss it. It's like BAM! But luckily I didn't do the kiss, I just went for the little touch. So starting lap 14, we are going to the end of the Grand Prix now, and you guys saw that I actually saved my fuel in that stint after I got into P7 because my car had exceptional pace on the super soft tires. So I just put the car back into lean mode and I played around with my ERS to keep the car on pace. So we are finally at the right place for fuel, and now we're gonna go to the end of this Grand Prix. At this stage, guys, Sebastian Vettel is leading the Grand Prix from Valtteri Bottas in second place and Lewis Hamilton in third. I think Lewis was really starting to chase down Valtteri, but at this stage it's Valtteri who's going to go into P1 as soon as Vettel was going to make his second pit stop. That's Lewis in third place. Fourth place actually is Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull, also driving a fantastic race, but just not having the pace to stay with the two Mercedes cars and the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. Fifth place is actually Esteban Ocon, the guy you saw that I was battling with just a few laps ago. Oh, there you guys go onto Ocon's front wing. I can't remember actually who was in sixth. Sixth place, it's the second Force India of Sergio Perez, with Kimi Raikkonen actually in seventh. In eighth place, it is definitely Kevin Magnussen. Then ninth place is Max Verstappen, and then in 10th place it is myself. But a few of these guys still had to go into the pit lane. So at this stage, guys, I was just driving my race. I was already in the points, didn't want to do anything to hold myself up, and just driving my race. And at this stage, guys, Max Verstappen was starting to pressure Kevin Magnussen. And K-Mag, being on very, very worn tyres, actually, he went for a pit stop really early in the Grand Prix to try the undercut, but now he's stretching those soft tyres to just like immense extent, and his tyres were starting to fall away quite quickly. You guys can see here on the straight, he tries to come back at Max Verstappen, but just to no avail. And with Max Verstappen giving him the brake check, I was like, oh, hello Magnussen, thank you for P9, I appreciate it very much. That was a very easy move. And now, guys, I was trying to stay with Max, but at some stage, Max Verstappen just decided he wanted to go from single turbo to twin turbo, and he just bolted away from me, so I couldn't catch Max, I'm gonna admit that. But guys, at the end of lap 19, Sebastian Vettel is coming into the pit lane to strap on his set of super soft tires, and now he is going to play catch up to try and catch both those Mercedes cars, because otherwise Vettel will not get the victory today. You guys can see he pulled out a massive gap in the lead, because only now Lewis, the second Mercedes, is passing the pit lane, and there Vettel is already coming out right behind Lewis. So I don't think it's going to be long until Vettel starts making moves on these two beautiful silver arrows. But at this stage, Lewis could also do nothing about Valtteri. Valtteri was just managing the pace. And heading here on to lap 19, the end of lap 19, well, the middle of lap 19, Vettel was already on the back of Lewis, and now he was pressuring Lewis like crazy. Lewis goes defensive. Sebastian is on the outside, but on much fresher and softer tires. Is Vettel going to make the move stick? He's around the outside. Hamilton defends quite harshly there by making contact, but Vettel is on the inside for this next very twisty section, and there is nothing that Lewis can do about that red Maranello Ferrari. And now Vettel is going to chase after Valtteri Bottas. And guys, to be quite honest, Vettel caught Bottas so quickly. I think it was like a lap, 2 laps, and then he was on Bottas's rear end. So now it's a battle between the second Finn, Valtteri Bottas, and the German of Sebastian Vettel, and we head on to the back straight, and now Sebastian is going to have DRS on Valtteri. Oh, that's a beautiful camera angle on the Mercedes, to be quite honest. And at this stage, guys, there was nothing that Valtteri could do. Ferrari was on a better tire. It was the faster car for the weekend, and Vettel makes the move stick before we even get to the corner, and Vettel is back into the lead of this American Grand Prix. I don't think the American fans like that, because to be quite honest, guys, I don't think the American fans like Vettel that much. But guys, oh, massive controversy, guys. This is Kimi Raikkonen's Ferrari on lap 20, the end of lap 20. Oh my word, guys, my championship rival in Russia, he had the DNF because of Esteban Ocon, and now here at America, he has had an engine blowout. And at this stage, guys, Kimi Raikkonen will not finish the American Grand Prix. There I come past him, guys. This is massive for the championship. Oh my word, guys, I just need to finish this race. We start our final lap, and I am under pressure from my teammate Pierre Gasly, and I can't remember who was behind him, to be quite honest. But guys, lap 28, it is now, guys, the championship has been blown wide open. if I just finish in P7, the next Grand Prix in Brazil, oh no, not in Brazil, actually the next Grand Prix in Mexico, if I win the Grand Prix, I can seal the championship, but then I have to win, and Kimi has to be like, I think P4, P5, I'm not quite sure, but oh my word, guys, this is massive news for the championship. I think Kimi Räikkönen is so mad at this stage, guys, but Sebastian Vettel drove a brilliant Grand Prix. He is going to win the American Grand Prix. GG's to Scuderia Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel. Valtteri comes home just in front of Lewis Hamilton to take second place, and Lewis obviously then goes third. But guys, back to the battle with myself and Pierre Gasly. You guys can see Gasly is coming from behind. He is pressuring me. At this stage, I didn't know why the team didn't give team orders, because I was the car fighting in the championship. But I think also Gasly was trying to defend from Sergio Perez behind him, because because he was consistently under my gearbox, because you guys know how strong that Force India is in a straight line. So at this stage I was just trying to go, I go wide! Ooh, why do I do this to myself? Why? But guys, that has been this American Grand Prix, and I think a fantastic comeback drive for myself from P20 to P7, and Kimi Räikkönen not finishing this Grand Prix. This has blown the championship wide open!
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. O'Connor increases their championship lead. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
I have to give it to O'Connor. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
On to the constructors then. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today? It's looking like the championship is already won. Do you think there's still time for this to change? That was an epic battle today. How do you think this will play out? Well, that's everything.
Guys, what a hectic American Grand Prix. Kimi Räikkönen not finishing the Grand Prix. I am now quite far ahead in the championship. If I just finish ahead of Kimi, not even win the next Grand Prix in Mexico, if I just finish ahead of Kimi in both the next two Grand Prix, I've got the championship. We don't even have to go to Abu Dhabi. But, oh man, I didn't want the championship to go down like this, but man, what can you do? What can you do? But guys, that has been this episode. Guys, a very controversial American Grand Prix. Guys, I quickly want to remind you guys to share the video with your friends. Please leave a like, hit that subscribe, and don't forget to ding the bell. You guys, with all the likes and the subscribes, you guys are really helping me out. You guys are an amazing audience, and it's a privilege to give you guys this footage. But guys, see you all for the next one in Mexico. Cheers!